Hello there, lovely people who enjoy lovely things. My name is Rach, and in both real life and in video games, the progression from noob to pro is always incredibly rewarding. I mean, I'm not quite at the pro level yet with life, but we'll get there eventually. The sense of achievement in practicing new skills and abilities to become the stuff of legend is brilliant. But sometimes the game allows you to experience some of these earlier than expected. It could be a type of character class that you pick up right at the start of your adventure, or perhaps a perk that swings the odds massively in your favour. It doesn't necessarily mean that the game is going to be a breeze from here on in, but it's always nice to get that early helping hand. Sometimes these exploits get balanced or patched out entirely, and sometimes developers leave them in to help players finish the story. Whatever the reason, accidental or intended, here are a pick of some early game abilities that you can exploit to your advantage. I love me some video game cheese. Welcome back to WhatCulture Gaming. These are 10 early video game abilities that change everything. Number 10. PYROMANCY, Dark Souls 3. Considering the lineage that the fabled From Software series has for being ridiculously hard, there are a few ways to make it slightly easier for yourself right at the very start. At least in Dark Souls 3. Much like the first game, in which you could partially cheese your way through if you invested enough points into being a magic user, Dark Souls 3 had a similar boost. Pyromancy, or the art of burning things, allows you to cast fireballs at enemies right from the start, whilst staying back a safe distance away from harm. It's a great boost if you're not feeling brave enough to charge in with a sword and shield right from the bat, especially on that introductory Addict Gundyr fight and the frosty doggo of the Boreal Valley, Vort. Number 9. Deflecting Arrows, The Witcher 3. Arrows reportedly travel at speeds of up to 150 miles an hour. Given that most cars struggle to make that speed, that is fast. Before they were largely replaced with guns and other high-speed ammunition, arrows were the go-to in ballistic firearms back in the day. So it's quite remarkable that Geralt of Rivia can not only block incoming arrows with a piece of metal about 4 inches wide, but put enough points into the deflection skill and he'll return them to sender as well. Whilst not immediately available, it doesn't take long to be able to put points into the arrow deflection skill, where you will be so grateful you did. For you see, archers here are a crafty bunch, choosing to stand around on the edge of your vision and only make themselves known when there's already an arrow protruding from your chest. What better way to teach them a lesson than by casually deflecting their shots? Number 8. Fear Takedown, Batman Arkham Knight. The breakthrough smash success of Batman Arkham Asylum back in 2009 had some absolutely stellar selling points going for it, one of which was the, at the time, revolutionary combat system. And of course, with each iteration, it needed to be improved upon for fear of becoming stagnant. By the time the third game of the trilogy rolled in, stealth takedowns and combat breakdowns were the norm, so something new had to be introduced. So we had the Fear Takedowns, Batman's upper hand assist in getting the drop on several enemies at once. Yet, put some points in early enough and the Dark Knight can take up to 5 enemies out in one chain. Considering a lot of the smaller interiors only held about half a dozen enemies, you'd be laughing after taking out the majority with ease. It gets a bit harder to do in the later stages of the game when enemies have all their upgraded gear, but as an early game changer, it gave Bats and the player quite the advantage. Number 7. Blink, Dishonored/Dishonored 2. Dishonored, if you're unfamiliar, is a series based around playing in your own way. You could be a silent assassin, or a force to be reckoned with, or merely an inquisitive explorer looking for all the tasty loot. This is largely in part to the powers granted to Corvo and Emily, that can be chosen and upgraded by the player. These range from more health, bodies disappearing on stealth kills, to even control over hordes of rats. But the first, and most often used, ability granted to you is Blink. This skill lets you traverse distances in the blink of an eye, I get it, to either avoid combat, explore, or zip behind enemies to take advantage of their confusion. Sink enough points into Blink early enough and you can cover even further distances and climbs. It made stealthing through levels so much easier, as well as escaping combat if it ever got overwhelming. Number 6. Multi-Shot, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The Assassin's Creed series has reinvented itself a couple of times already, but one thing it always tries to mix up is the combat. Early iterations were deemed too repetitive and formulaic, so when it was revised for Origins and Odyssey, fans were impressed at the improvements. With the revision came challenge. Enemies this time had weight to the challenge of taking them out. Some players took to the challenge, whilst some weren't quite expecting the twist. This applied to your chosen character too, as like all games with skills and perks, you had to work your way up to becoming that ancient badass of history. But if you ever fancy your hand at bow over blade, or like getting the drop on enemies, then an early investment would be the multi-shot skill. Similar to Batman's Fear takedown skill, you could target up to 4, 6, or even 8 enemies with every level. It was a great advantage to deal massive damage to an unsuspecting crowd, or even stall a group of attackers in the middle of combat. Number 5, just roll with it, Days Gone. As mentioned in the rules of the first Zombieland film, cardio is important. Zombies at the best of times may not be as scary individually, but there is definite strength in numbers. When you then get running zombies, the stakes are even higher. So it may seem like evasion would be top on the list of Deacon St. John's abilities. But not quite. Sure, he can sprint for a limited time, but it seems the combat roll works his core a bit too much to begin with. Put some points into the Just Roll With It perk as soon as you can, and you'll make life easier for the farmer biker. With less of a drain on stamina, it allows our grumpy anti-hero a bit of a reprieve each time he gets overwhelmed by a group of hungry zombies. Sure, it won't save you against the on-screen hordes, but it will help in getting that footing towards escape, or back to your bike. Number 4, Mikiri counter. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. The one-armed wolf doesn't have an easy time in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Stripped of all he knows and left for dead, as well as having an arm lopped off, he's got to rebuild himself if he's to fulfill his promise to guard Lord Kuro. It's not an easy start for his adventure, as most enemies turn you into a pancake quickly enough, without even mentioning unblockable attacks. Thrusting attacks from foes can easily be lethal, or at least deal some hefty damage. Turn the tables on them with the MIKIRI counter early on though, and you'll be the one making pancakes. I'll take bacon on mine. Facing an enemy as they strike only to stamp their blade or spear into the floor and wreak havoc on their posture is a godsend. Whilst the game isn't impossible without it, it's a worthy investment so early on, giving Sekiro a bit more of a fighting chance. Don't be afraid to use it on bosses either. It's the perfect thing to inject a healthy dose of confidence into a very difficult game. Number 3, Perfect Hit, Marvel's Spider-Man. Marvel's Spider-Man, much like the Batman games, features a combat system that relies on you being quick on your feet. Again, like Bats, Spidey also has an arsenal of gadgets and takedowns that he can use too. Whilst these come at a cost to use, they are replenished by the focus meter. This gauge allows Spider-Man to use the different abilities his variety of suits grant, perform single-hit takedowns on enemies, or restore health when needed. How does this get replenished, you might be wondering? Why, by hitting people, of course. Yet, whilst it is essential, it can be a bit of a slow burn, especially in times of crisis. However, help is at hand with the Perfect Hit ability. Time your hits just right, and not only add a double hit to your combo meter, but also fill the focus meter up quicker too. This in turn means that our web-slinging hero can use takedowns quicker, or have his health replenished just that wee bit sooner. Just time those strikes just right, and you're golden. Number 2, Dialogue perks. The Outer Worlds. It might seem weird that in a list populated by skills commonly associated with combat, that conversation would be here too, but bear with me. For whilst the Outer Worlds does have an impressive combat and skill system, the greatest gift that you can give yourself early on is the gift of the gab. Unlike series contemporaries like Fallout, the Outer Worlds doesn't have a strict morality system like they do. So by fibbing your way out of something or trying to strong-arm someone into giving you information carries no real consequence. Sure, you might annoy the person that you're harassing, but the game isn't going to give you a bad ending for it. So don't be afraid to invest some early points into the power of persuasion. Become a silver-tongued savior, or just flat out bully people to uncover some easier options of play. Of course, don't completely neglect combat skills, but having some bonus points in cunning linguistics will make dealing with the many inhabitants of the Outer Worlds a lot easier. Number 1, Slowing Time. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The Force is a strange one when you think about it. No two Jedi are ever granted the exact same skills. Object manipulation, clairvoyance, even mild brainwashing are all up for grabs. But for former Jedi in training Cal Kestis, a lot of his powers lay dormant in the early hours of the new Star Wars title. Despite being lucky enough to escape the purge of Order 66, Cal has been in hiding ever since, trying to maintain a low profile. Whilst his skills are initially limited, he does have the incredible ability to freeze enemies and projectiles in place for a short time. However, invest some more points into this to unlock more potential, like stopping enemies in place for longer, for that extra reprieve in battle. Granted, there are better powers to learn down the line, but for the uninitiated players not used to the combat, it's a real neat little gift to abuse early on. It won't get you completely out of trouble, but it will grant some valuable evasion time. And that's our list. Thank you so much for watching. Please do add any others we may have missed in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the WhatCulture Gaming YouTube channel for more lists like this every single day. Once again, my name has been Rach. You can follow me on Twitter if you like, @Don'tRageQuit, but you be sure to have an awesome day.